Well, I've tried to do 5 videos now. I ended up making one video that was jammed together improperly. Obviously, Addie and... You're going to have to wait a minute. Is that okay? We're heading over to Ohio right now. We're 50 minutes from getting to Northfield Park. Hopefully in time for me to race Jason's horse. And then we have, later on, we have... JK Mickey Mantle later on. Wallop, I just watched him get beat. He was having trouble steering him. I don't know whether something happened with the martingale, but he was having some serious trouble steering him, and it really... That's how you get a 1-to-5 shot beat. That'll do it. So a little frustrated over that, but that'll happen. Isn't that racing? Just in a nutshell. A can't-lose situation. We can find a way to lose. Anyway, I woke up today and I really thought my day was going to be easy. Go to the barn, jog Carter, Michael Deal, make sure he was okay. He was perfect, by the way. Very, very happy with the way he was. You're such a little turd. So he was okay. He was very good today. We had taken the shoe off of... I think I need to apologize. You know, our blacksmith, same as a lot of blacksmiths, works his butt off. And if he shoes a horse... So I think what happened was when he had equiloxed his foot and put the shoe back on him, there may have been a tiny, tiny bit of infection underneath their brewing. No one noticed. And I can't blame anybody because I schooled him the other day. And I went with him the other day and I saw him. I missed it. So there's no point in me saying, it's somebody else's fault. No, it's my fault. Don't blame anybody, blame me. It's the first thing I should have looked at. The problem was it was tough for me to get there, right? I went with him. I know he has an OCD in that stifle, so I, like everybody else, being myopic and having a pigeon brain sometimes, I was thinking it has to be that stifle, has to be that stifle, has to be that stifle. So we injected the stifle. Lo and behold, it was no better. How can that be? Took him down to Georgian Downs. Now Amy and I and Addie and Ollie. Yeah, your mommy. Amy and I. Who's the other Amy? Amy at school is not your mom. So you, Mommy, me, and Ollie went to Georgian Downs last night and raced those 2 horses. You were there. Yeah, remember we got ice cream after. Yeah, maybe next time.
I want chocolate chicken.
Oh, no problem. So, we went and raced the horses. George, it was fun. It's been a long time since Amy and I raced horses since, oh my God, 2011 or something. So, just us. You know, Chris Rogers shipped the horses down. We drove down as a family, and Amy and I did both the paddocks. So, Amy did both the paddocks, and I warmed the horses up and helped. And I come off the track with How the Hell after the second trip, and I said, he's raceable, but he's sore left hind. How long's that patch been on his foot? Amy said, I don't know. I don't take care of him. Shelby does. Can you text Shelby and ask her how long this patch has been on this horse's foot? Shelby was busy racing in Sarnia and got back to us after the race and said 3 weeks. He's been off that left hind for about 2.5. So at that point, the injection into the stifle not helping made sense. The lameness made sense. He'd already made the break, and I saw how he tried not to. You know, if you're around the horse, he's a likable animal. Hey, turn that down, widow. He's a very, very likable horse. And that's why I stick up for him, because I know what he's been through. I know how bad his knees were. I know what it took to get him back, and the making the noise and being sore. I know what he's been through, and I respect the horse. So I come home last night and I felt bad. Ripped the shoe off him, broke all the equilocks up like an idiot. Preston comes in today and no, that was Saturday night. I ripped it off on Sunday. Preston comes in today and, you know, I got talking to him. And it dawns on me, when I talk about it like this, it almost sounds like I'm blaming Preston. I'm not. He didn't do anything wrong. He doesn't take care of the horse. Shelby didn't know he had infection brewing in there, because that's likely what it was. Preston didn't. It's not like he can put an infection gun on it and say, "Oh, let's see if he has any infection on there." There's no way for him to know that. The horse was fine when he put the shoe on him, obviously. And because he had an OCD in his stifle, still does, we just assumed it was his stifle. Ripped that shoe off, jogged him today with no shoe on. Sound as I've ever seen him left hind. Now, I didn't train him, in fairness to everybody. I just jogged him, but I also jogged him Saturday night. He was quite a bit better than he was Saturday night. So I come off the track and feel like a complete idiot because I should have, hey, shush, because I should have known. I should have known that it could have been the patch. And this is a perfect example about how the forest for the trees, right? You miss the forest for the trees sometimes. Anyway, I can't make it back. I can make it back Thursday now because I'm coming back to drive Race for Landing. I'm bringing my little girl, Addie Bear, home. I can only kidnap her for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday afternoon. You're staying with me Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Tonight, Tuesday, we go to the fair. We're going on the Ferris wheel. We're going on the bumper cars. We're going on the roller coaster. We're going to eat some deep fried cheese. Maybe a deep fried Oreo. Maybe not. Gotta jump on the scales tonight before I start eating deep fried Oreos. Yeah, you're right, yeah. Wednesday, we're going to race all the big guns here in Ohio Wednesday night, and then Thursday, I'm going to go over to the Meadows. I told Tim I would go over and race his horses, although I don't really know if I'm going to be a help or a hindrance for Tim. Even though I don't know if I'm going to be a help or a hindrance, he believes I'm going to be a help, and I told him I would go, so I'm going to, and help out as much as I can. I'm going to drive where I forbid you again, Drew Porley, 7-hole. There's a good chance we might see some of the same. So for my partners out there, you are going to have patience. I'm not blasting her out of there. So if any of you are at home saying, geez, I wonder if Anthony's going to blast her out of there, I might bet her today. You see a very little chance I'm going to leave with I forbid you this week. Although I do have demons in my head. I spent the better part of 25 years rolling horses. There's always that chance. But as I talk to you here with a level head, probably not leaving her. You never know. Good girl. Give me that back, you turkey. So, the updates today, as I said, we had horses going to Kentucky. We had Lonely Lakewood going down. In my other video, I explained everything, and then at the end of the video, I started talking about a couple of horses we had to the vet, and ended up talking for 10 minutes about Punch the Clock. We'll talk about her. So I'm going to send that video to the Punch the Clock crew. I'm going to send this one to you. All talking about the same thing. We have 4 horses going to Kentucky. We have one there right now. Pickpocket is going to start in the Distinction B, the Incentive B. So there's ABC. It goes for 80, 30, 15. Reason being, I explained it in my email or my video the other night, and then somebody emailed and said they weren't really clear what I meant. So I didn't explain it very well. You have 3 levels. Now the way Kentucky, I think it's kind of smart. The way Kentucky does, they want full fields. So say you get on to Kentucky and you race your horse in the A distinction because you are A incentive because you think it's a really nice horse, like Pickpocket. And you've come to find out that there's 2 or 3 killers down there, which there will be. Addie, which there will be. What happens is you drop Pickpocket down to the B level. You race him in there, he does pretty good, you're all happy. And then they go to enter the horses for the A, B, and C on the same day. At the end, the finals. Lo and behold, 5 horses have entered the A division because there's 2 or 3 really, really good ones in there. So you know what they do? They say, no problem. Anybody with any points, if you have 2 points, you are automatically entered in the A incentive. You don't have an option. So if you even garner 1 point in the A incentive, there's a chance you may have to race in there, even though you may come to find there are 2 or 3 monsters in there, which inevitably there will be, since the final goes for 400 and every lag is 80. So we're going to start Pickpocket in the B incentive. I just don't know about Lonely Lakewood. I'm going to talk to Scott. I'm going to talk to Tim a little bit more. He trained in the Meadows today, and then they shipped down to Ohio. I'm going to talk to Tim. How did Lonely Lakewood train? I know he said he trained good in 2-3. How good? B, incentive good, or would you just start him in the C with Militant? And Militant is starting in the C. I know he won in 57. Somebody said he doesn't deserve anything. Nobody deserves anything in this business. We're going to put the horses where they belong, where I know they'll do good. Remember the rules. A, B, and C incentives. Militant is starting in the C for sure. Just don't know about Lonely Lakewood. There's a large voice in my head saying C. Start him in the C. And that may be where he goes. I just want to get a little more information. Scott, who's going to be driving him. Tim, who trained him today. Just need a little bit more information on him. Affection is starting in the C incentive also, so it's fair to her. Arson, C incentive. Somebody said, this is a sire stake horse. Well, you get the shit kicked out of him. Excuse me. Lucky the bad word police is usually on patrol. He get beat up pretty good the other day. And regardless if he wasn't on his game or off 2 weeks or whatever, he's not going down to manhandle the A incentives. In fact, I would like to see the B's go and start him in the C for the very reason we talked about before. So he will be starting in the C incentive. So we have a B, 4 C's starting out, or a B, 3 C's, and a question mark at this point. And that's Kentucky. Now we are going to the Arden also. I said to Tim, why don't we enter Royal Emeralds and Flash Fly in the Maiden Trot? One sec, sweetheart. And if we're going to have 2 divisions of the Arden, we'll go with Insider Trading and Pull the Shoes. Only because Pull the Shoes is fast. She tied up, was sick. You believe, the vet believes. She's having a great week. She's been feeling good since she got home. We believe she's going to be at 100% or close to it. She can probably race in there. We can't jam-pack the Maiden Trot. I think that Insider Trading obviously possesses the speed to race there. She should be, if we have a no-brainer, it would be her for there. The other fillies are all very similar and all maidens. I don't want to see anybody get run over or beat up, but I think Pull the Shoes possesses the speed right now to trot in 56 if things went well and she was healthy. I believe. We're lucky. We get some really nice colts and fillies. So I think we're going to enter all 4 of them, the colts, all 4 of the fillies in the Arden, because they didn't write a maiden 2-year-old trot this week. Wrote a 2-year-old colt trot. They did not write a filly trot, which makes no sense to me whatsoever. But nevertheless, it's not written. So all 4 fillies and all 4 colts will go in the Arden. There'll likely be 2 divisions of each. That means I can't drive 2 of them. I don't know who's... You've been such a good girl the whole way over here. You're going to get to bed early tonight, though. I don't want you being tired at the fair tomorrow, okay? Okay? High five? Ouch! So, all the fillies and all the colts will be entered in the Arden, and we'll see what happens. Who I have to drive, who I don't have to drive. It's on Friday night, not Saturday. Somebody said, Anthony, you said that Paycheck Princess race Friday. That actually goes Saturday. My apologies, it goes Saturday. I'm going to be there Saturday because Brantini is going to be there. Somebody said to me, what about Tailgate Buzz and Austro? I want to say that they're not quite good enough right now to race in the Arden, but that's unfair. Guido D won at 53 and 4 last year. He's a really nice horse. But the other horses that were in there were kind of Stallion Series types. And then I had another client, very informative information, said, I looked over the list of the horses eligible to the Arden. There's no real killers in there. He said, in fact, Spitfire Overseas and Carter Michael Dio were in there, which constituted probably the better ones for the most part. And then I got thinking, well, it's not like the non-winners of 6, but our winners of 6 more than 8 is a cakewalk. Both of them are going to be 10 to 1 in overnights. We may as well race them in the Arden. So Crantini, Tailgate Buzz, and Austral Hanover will all be entered in the Arden. And I don't think there's a reason not to. I can't think of a reason not to enter them in that class. As I said in my other... What's that, baby girl? I've done my video in 5 minutes, 2 minutes, okay? And then I talked about the horses we sent over to the clinic today. Drebin went over. He's got a cut or a laceration on his, just a little cut on his left front, but right where the knee boot would go. I would suspect that is probably where a lot of the discomfort looked like in the post-spray the other night, which is good, but his knees do have some changes in the third carpals. No lines, no cracks, no shadows, no anything like that, but she said usually a prerequisite of that is changes in the knees. She goes, so you're at a point where you can manage him, inject him, shock him, move forward, and hope that he's fine, and he may be. She said, but it wouldn't shock me if you showed up in 2 or 3 weeks and he now has a line in his knee. So nothing found that would stop him from racing, but more than enough found that would make you cautious of racing. That is a good way of putting it. That's how I should have put it in the other video. So Drebin, first thing we're going to do is get that cut, that rub on the front of his knee cleaned up. There's some infection in there. She can put him on antibiotics, and we'll get that cleaned up. And then we'll decide. But as I said in the other video also, we're kind of at a point of no return. To rehab any sort of injury right now, it would have to be as minor as a cut on a knee. It's August 1st. You think about it, if a horse gets injured right now, most injuries will take 2 weeks to 4 weeks minimum to rehab. Now you're into September. At least 2 or 3, 4 weeks of training. Now you're almost into October. Unless you start from right now to rehab a horse for the Breeders' Crown, there's really no point. That sign is for gas, honey. Right there, it tells you how much the gas is. Is that the one you mean? Yeah, it tells you how much the gas is. We're not in Ontario. We're in Ohio, babe. Yeah. So Addie's pretty excited. She's such a trooper. Come all the way over here with me. Bugged me all day to get going also. And landed here. Now, the last update was punch the clock. No tears found, no cracks, no breaks found in her leg. But there is some heat. There is some swelling. And Dr. McKee said the check ligament area is aggravated. She thinks there is a little injury in there brewing. Again, where do we go now? She said, Anthony, there's nothing today. That doesn't mean that there won't be something in a week or two. Now, this isn't an overnight horse. We are trying to get her started to prep her for the Breeders' Crown, for the International Trot, for all these big races coming up. And although this injury is far from career-ending, it probably should be season-ending for obvious reasons. So my video to the Punch the Clock group, my partners on Punch the Clock, was a little more particular and explaining the injury and what it was and how it is treatable. But the gist of it... I can't watch that. I'm driving. I can't. I'm driving. Get you, turkey. Okay. A little stir crazy. So the injury is, well, how do I put it? It's not a suspension, but it has to be involved. There's an involvement of soft tissue. There is a prognosis, very good. There's a way to get to the bottom of it. And she said, at the end of the day, this is King Lenor's sister, so she's worth a fortune. If you do everything perfectly to rehab her and bring her back next year, you will know long before breeding season if she's well on her way to coming back to 100% and being the horse that everybody that owns her wants her to be. And if she's not, she can enter the other side of her career, which still makes her worth a lot more than we initially purchased her for, which is insane to say that, but it's true. Anyway, I'm trying to look at it. I'm not just trying to be optimistic. I'm trying to be realistic. Not as bad as I thought. I thought that she went today, and I'll tell you why. So I went and looked at Punch the Clock yesterday, and there's no two ways about it. She hit that lag up high, which would cause swelling there. The problem I had was there was a little bit of swelling on the outside of the leg. That was concerning to me. And if you had stopped me and said, hey, okay, just be honest, what do you think the vet's going to find? 5 to 10% tear in a suspensory right hind. That's my thoughts. It's not what she found. So, no holes, no tears in the suspensory area. There is issues. There is some damage done to the check ligament area. It is... I always want to use the word fixable, but you got to be so careful in doing that because you have to rehab it properly, let it set, put lots of miles into her, start training her down, continually watch it, as you should anyway. And at that point, as you start to put those faster miles into her, you should have a very good idea of if she's going to hold up or not. I want to believe there's no reason for her not to. And I think the biggest takeaway was, and I spent a long time talking about this in the other video, what Dr. McKee was absolutely abundantly clear and positive about in her synopsis to me was this happened on the track the other night. She goes, when you think about the timeline, you said that Johnny thought that she was a little bit off right hind last week, but she had just trained. And I think she hit herself last week, and it was a bruise. Happens all the time. It's not a big deal. She was put away properly every day, every week. You know that. You jogged her Tuesday. Actually, Dr. Bosenjack looked at her, thought that maybe her knees were a little tight. You injected her knees, didn't find anything in her right hind because there was nothing to find. It was a bruise. You went out and jogged her yourself on Tuesday, said she was fine, which she was. You being me. I jogged her myself on Tuesday. She was not sore anywhere. Wednesday, there was no report of any issues. Thursday, you go to race her on a track that's kind of hard, kind of muddy now. Everybody else had to race on it. You said that James went last trip with her in the rain, nonetheless. Said she may be a little over on the left shaft, but sound. And then in the race was good, but was lame pulling up. This injury isn't something she could have went on the track with and been sound. This is acute and very sore today. It happened in the race. No two ways about it. And she's saying that because she knows how hard I can be on myself. Regardless, even if she says it, it's still going to bother me. It's still going to hurt me a lot. It's still going to bother me quite a bit. But knowing that the issue she has happened quickly, happened in the race, and is treatable, is fixable, is rehabable, and that she could very likely, in all likelihood, regain top form. Because I wanted to be clear with her. I don't care about her making it back to the races. I care about her regaining top form. So when we talk about her coming back, I need it to be in that mindset. Which was fine. She said yes. So it's upsetting in the sense that, yes, we won't get to see Punch the Clock race anymore in 2023. But I don't think that dissipates any excitement from 2024. I guess that's a lie. Of course it does a little bit. But it is what it is, and we're going to push forward. It is what it is. You know, I don't want to be that guy saying, she took a bad step, but apparently that's what she did. So that is what all of our videos were about. I wanted to update everybody about Pennsylvania and about Kentucky. I'll drive Brace for Landing Thursday. I'm going to continue to bounce around. I got a good co-pilot with me. We're going to race tonight in Northfield. I'm going to race in about 15 minutes, actually. I'm going to race Jason's horse for him in 15 minutes if I get there in time. And then I am going to go to the fair with my girl tomorrow. We'll be done racing in the afternoon. We're going to spend the rest of the afternoon at the fair going on the rides. And then nothing on the docket for tomorrow night. Wednesday night, it is a big day for Ohio. We have all the horses in the Sire Stakes. Purple People Eater, I think, is 9 to 5. Gypsy Hill is like 6 to 5. I don't like going by odds, but at the same token, when you pick up the program and you're 6 to 5, it generally means you're in a position to do some good. So all of our horses are lower odds. It should be a lot of fun Wednesday. I know they're all coming in good. Jason's done a great job prepping them. I went with a couple of them the other day. I thought they all look good, and they're all sharp coming in. So I'm going to try and focus on the rest of the night, positive in the rest of the week, and implement and execute the rehab plans for any of the horses that need them. Yeah, I'm going to race right now, sweetie. So with that, I hope you guys had a good day. I know a little bit of a bummer, a little bit of a Debbie Downer in that regard, but nothing happened, nothing was found today that can't be overcome. I guess that's the best way to put it. So I'll talk to you all very soon. Good luck to everybody that is in the J.K. Mickey Mantle group. He's about to race tonight. Jason is partners with his horse. I'm about to race him. To the people that are my partners on Wallop, yes, that was very hard to watch, but clearly there was an equipment issue of some sort. We will get it sorted out immediately, and he'll be back in to go next week. I'll talk to you all soon. Take care. Have a wonderful